Ready? Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for November 24th, 2025 will come to order. You'll please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it
stands,
one
one nation,
under
under
God,
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chairman, we'll continue to stand. I have a point of order to recognize someone that we lost last week, Miss Alda Valentini. She sat on the Board of Zoning Appeals and she sat on the Planning Commission for so many years and gave so much of herself. And I think it would be appropriate to just have a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a great gal. I was going to mention something that you
Oh,
interject.
sorry.
That's okay. Well intended. So. Okay, Mr. Secretary, if you'll call the roll.
Nick Nosovich,
Here.
Dan Rohaley,
Here.
Jeremy Taylor,
Here.
John Marshall,
Here.
Dick Sauerman.
Present.
Everybody's here. Next on the agenda is approval of minutes. Minutes have been circulated. Are there any corrections, additions? If not, a motion to approve? A motion by Mr. Marshall for approval,
Second.
Mr. Sauerman, second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, if you'll call the roll.
Dan Rohaley,
Yes.
Jeremy Taylor, John Marshall,
Yes.
Dick Sauerman,
Yes.
Nick Nosovich.
Yes. We have no old business. First up on new business is petition 25-40, RDM 5 petitioner / owner. Request is a variance from development standards. Purpose is to allow encroachment on the front yard setback. Location is 11120 Virginia Street. Along with that, we'll hear the petition for 25-41, which is also RDM 5 petitioner / owner. That request is a variance from development standards, allow encroachment on the side and rear yard setbacks. Also, address 11120 Virginia Street. Sir, if you'll state your name and address for the record and tell us what you'd like to do.
Good evening. My name is James Huss with DVG Team here representing tonight RDM 6 LLC. The property in question is Lot 6 in the Crown East Warehouses subdivision west of Virginia Street, halfway between 110th Avenue and 112th Avenue. This property is also known as 11120 Virginia Street. Lot 6 currently is semi-developed. It has been covered in aggregate base and serves as material storage for the building on Lot 5 due north, which is 11100 Virginia Street. It is my understanding that the lease is up on Lot 5 and the petitioner would like to fully develop Lot 6 with its own primary structure. And I have an illustration on the screen here of Lot 6. And then I will go to site plan for Lot 6. The intentions for Lot 6 are essentially to carbon copy Lot 5, plain and simple. Existing fencing will be reconfigured so that Lots 5 and 6 can share the existing driveway on their currently shared lot line. The primary structure will be more or less identical, as you can see here. So why does that bring me before you here tonight? Tonight, I'm here to petition you for 2 development standards variants. They're both related to the same code section, and they relate to paving or hardscape setbacks. Realizing that the city's code speaks only to building setbacks, before I go any further, I want to stress that we're proposing no violations of the setbacks with the primary structure, strictly related to pavement. As we all know, in the past year or two, BZA or the city staff has made it clear that while this variance may have been given more nonchalantly in the past, that we should no longer be assumed that we can pave in the side setbacks. So I'm here formally requesting that permission tonight. Section 150.34C3 states that parking lots and all driveways providing access to parking lots shall meet the minimum yard setback requirements of the underlying zoning district. This parcel is zoned I1 and requires a 10-foot side and rear yard. We are requesting a 0-foot setback for the side and the rear yard in this case. aside from requesting this to more fully maximize the utility of lot 6, we're also requesting this variance for continuity with the lots that have already been developed, and I will show you why here in a moment. This is an illustration of the greater subdivision, both Crown East Warehouses and Crown East Industrial Park, and all of these blue shaded areas in this general area operate today with 0-foot side setbacks or rear setbacks. So we would be, by receiving these variances, continuing the greater pattern of development in the area. The second variance, which is actually 2540, is related to the same code section, but in a different manner. The front setback of an I-1 parcel is 30 feet, which we are providing with the building. But as you can see in lot 5, it was developed with a 3-foot slim landscaping strip and then a sidewalk in front of it. Now, technically that hardscape, the sidewalk violates the setback. So we are asking to do the same thing for lot 6, which thus creates a 22-foot front yard setback. So the petition before you is to allow a 0-foot setback on the rear and the side yards of the lot, and then a 22-foot front yard setback. But again, the building is not in violation of that front setback. Included with our submitted materials are findings of fact, which you're more than welcome to reference. The petitioner, Ron Morris, is here with me tonight, and should there be any questions I can't answer for you, I'm sure he can. I appreciate your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. Mr. Watson, staff reports.
Petitioner is requesting a variance from development standards to allow a reduction of the front, rear, and side yard setbacks. Current front yard setback in an I-1 industrial zone is 30 feet. The request is to encroach by 8 feet for flat work to allow for pedestrian access in the front of the building. The current rear and side yard setbacks in an I-1 industrial zone is 20 feet. The request is to allow a 0-foot setback for parking and shared drive aisles. The layout is consistent with the neighboring developments, and if approved, an access agreement would be required for the properties. All notices have been properly sent out by certified mail, and the notice has been published in the newspaper. We have received no calls of remonstration or support. Planning Department recommends approval of petitions 2540 and 2541.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Sauerman, we'll start with you. Do you have any questions to the petitioner?
I don't have any questions. I just have a comment. That is, and we've been doing a lot of these lately, and I think they make a lot of sense. And as a petitioner has stated in his presentation, in particular, we've been doing quite a few of these out in Crown East, so I have no issue with this. And furthermore, I just want to say Ron Morris has been, in my mind, an excellent corporate citizen of Crown Point, and I like to reward people who do what they say they're going to do. So I'm in favor of doing this.
All right, thank you. Mr. O'Haley?
I just echo those sentiments as well. Mr. Morris has done a great job above and beyond, really taking a industrial park and making it look attractive and inviting to many people, including the community as a whole. So I think he's a great benefit to the community. So for the one variance, the easy one is the building is behind the setback, front setback, correct?
The building is, yes, it's on, but not, the building itself is not in violation.
It would have been nice if you would have put that building line on there, so I didn't have to strain to figure out what's going on here. It's real faint, I can barely see it. So the only thing that's across the building setback line is the sidewalk, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so that's the only thing that goes across that building. So we're gonna have a drive on the south and on the north?
That is also correct. We were still looking into potentially relocating a transformer that's in the northern driveway, but the southern driveway will be continuous with the lot south as well.
Okay, so that'll come out two driveways. You have no problem getting a shared access agreement in place should we decide to grant the variance.
We do
have a shared access agreement on the north.
We have great confidence we will get that done, and they will be included when this is back before you and others at Plan Commission.
For a second. I guess the only other one is the rear one. Is there some reason that you can't pull that in to respect that rear setback?
No particular reason other than just maximizing the space. We do block out the section back there because it is a utility easement.
Right.
I won't pretend there isn't a reason we can't, other than the lot 5 is paved that far back and it would be more continuous with the lot to the north and the south.
I guess, how would you get your landscaping in the back there? If it's all paved? If the tree board comes up with something to install in the back, it's all asphalt.
I think we're industrial back to back, so I'm not sure we'd have any screening to do.
Josh, question?
So that would be at the discretion of the tree board. With this not going through site development yet, I do not have calculations for what would be required for landscaping. But there would be a minimum landscaping requirement that is required per ordinance.
I think I always put an island in or something to stick a tree or something in there, right?
Yeah.
And I guess the hardship or the practical difficulty, because this is a development variance, not used. For the trucks that come in there for the turning radiuses to get through there, it's probably better to have those set to the west as much as possible, right? The parking. So it's not-
As far as once they're in the development,
Yeah,
yes,
so
there
that's
is,
the
yes.
open flip. So I guess that's what you could use for your practice. Other than that, I don't think I have anything. I think we're good.
Mr. Marshall?
Well, I think this is consistent with what we've done out there. He's certainly done a nice job with that subdivision. Any community should be proud to have it in, as a commercial development, industrial development. As far as the tree board, I believe that we've had you buy trees and put them somewhere else before. Is that correct? So you wouldn't have no problem with doing that again? So I think the parking should go all the way to the back. I mean, this is an expensive lot that is industrial use, and a tree back there is not gonna make the employee's life any better or worse. So it should just all be pavement as proposed. So I think he's certainly willing to buy some trees for the city and plant them wherever you'd like them put, right, Josh?
That is more than sufficient.
Okay, so I think this is acceptable. I think his request is reasonable on both petitions. That's all I have to say.
Mr. Taylor?
We talked about the shared access on the north side. Is that gonna be a shared access on the south side as well? Know that
There's a concrete wall.
It would be,
that's what I was
so
curious.
the intent is that it would effectively be shared for the purposes of like turning in. But we do intend to break at the property line. So, I mean, there's a minimum going to be a fence separating the two lots once you get a little west into the lot.
So we
As is
won't- So we won't actually have a shared access agreement between those two properties.
No, you more than likely will in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It just more effectively is for the closer to the road.
But you'll have one on the north, but not on the south.
Potentially
What you
both.
mentioned. So,
Well, as he said, potentially both, depending on how that layout is on the south side.
Which this southern driveway is going to be widened only to the north when it's all said and done.
yeah, I'm having problems with north. So,
Oh, no, I mean, the south would flex north, it'd get wider. It almost, if you can look at this north drive, how wide it is compared to a half driveway, you can almost picture this increasing in width in the same, so it looks the same.
Right. I don't have a problem with the north, it's the south.
And then I guess my next question is, so was there a change in the ordinance or have we granted variances to all of these?
No, as a matter of fact, the answer to both of them is no. There was not a change in the ordinance. The ordinance for years has said that you can't have flat work in any of the setbacks. It just wasn't caught previously.
I don't have any other questions. I guess, for a motion, I guess, would we need to include the south set, or the south shared access to be required? That was my only question.
But it wouldn't be a bad idea by site plan.
Yeah.
If it,
Because we've been including that
Yeah.
requirement in all of our motions. That's all.
This is a public meeting. If there's anyone out there who would like to speak to this petition, an opportunity to come forth. Or if there's anyone online. Second opportunity to come forth. Third and final. Again, anybody online? Seeing there is none, we'll close the public portion out and bring it back to the board.
I guess it would really be up to the petitioner, whether he wants a shared access agreement on that south lot.
I think between now and when we come before plan commission, we'll nail that down. And obviously if it's advantageous either to Ron or the property owner of the south, and we need to keep that in place,
We
then we
need
will.
to make a reasonable condition with the approval tonight.
I would think unless I guess I picture it as unless we're going to expect the property owner to truly repave.
Yeah, we
Straight.
don't know. And it's up to the petitioner and the owner to the south whether they want to do that or not. Strictly up to the petitioner.
Do you think we're gonna need cross access? Do you think we're gonna need any cross access or we won't?
why don't we just list the conditions, shared access agreement to be provided if necessary.
On the side.
But it will be provided on the floor.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That'd be my motion to
Yeah.
approve petition 25-40 and 25-41, subject to a shared access agreement for utilities access easement for parking utilities and recorded binding upon all successors in title. And that would be on the north. And subject to shared access agreement should it be necessary on the south.
Question. Doing, which petition are you doing?
Both
You
of
doing them separately or you doing them together?
I was doing them both together. I said 25, 40, and 41.
We're gonna still have to vote separately. for that.
Yeah, both
Go ahead.
separately. I'll just put the same conditions in both.
Okay. So
So we're doing 40 now?
Doing 40 right now.
I'll second.
So a motion by Mr. Rohaley, seconded by Mr. Marshall. Is there any further discussion?
Here we call.
Already did,
Oh, I didn't hear that, sorry.
no worries. Hearing no other comments or suggestions, we'll go on 25-40. Mr. Chairman or Mr. Secretary, call the roll.
Dan Rohaley,
yes.
Jeremy Taylor.
Yes.
John Marshall,
Yes.
Dick Sauerman,
Yes.
Nosovich.
Yes. And now petition 25-41, again stipulated as Mr. Rayleigh read the first one. And seconded by Mr. Marshall. To call the roll.
Dan Rohaley,
Yes.
Jeremy Taylor.
Yes.
John Marshall,
Yes.
Dick Sauerman,
Yes.
Nick Nosovich.
Yes.
You know, the access or the encroachment for the front has nothing to do with the drives. But we're good.
All right, you're all set for both petitions.
Thank you very much.
Next on the agenda is petition 25-42, St. Matthias Church petitioner / Roman Catholic Diocese of Gary owner. Requests a variance from development standards. Purpose is to allow accessory structures to exceed 16 feet in height. Location is 101 West Burrell Drive. There's someone here to speak to the petition? Sir, if you'll come forward, state your name and address for the record, and feel free to tell us what you'd like to do.
Good evening, I'm Mike Mucha with St. Matthias Church, 101 West Burrell Drive, Crown Point. Been a parishioner for over 25 years, serve as a Eucharistic minister there, sit on the finance council, and also volunteer to assist with various initiatives that the church has in place. St. Matthias is seeking the board's approval for a variance from development standards to install a 50-foot bell tower on the church grounds. Your packet includes site plan, photo rendering, plan and elevation drawing, decibel level projections, and a detailed findings of fact, of which I will cover the key points here. The bell tower is comprised of galvanized structural steel tubing, painted black, anchored at 3 points, and it converges to a single point at a height of 40 feet, which draws the eye towards heaven. The structure is topped with a 10-foot cross made from aluminum tubing and painted gold. Forged in 1903, the bronze bells were acquired by St. Matthias Church after the closing of St. George's Church in Chicago, where they served as the evangelizing voice of that community for over 115 years. Those bells will be restored to their original polished bronze and allowed to naturally patina over time. Functionally, the bells will remain fixed in place and rung using an electromechanically controlled striker within each bell. The tower's height of 40 feet provides design functionality and aesthetic for optimal placement of the bells, but it was also chosen for its significance in the Catholic Church, as the number 40 represents a period of testing, trial, transformation, and preparation found throughout Scripture. The location of the bells ensures that the sound levels from those bells are not negatively impactful to our neighbors. The projected decibel level for this type and size of bell tower is 70 decibels at a distance of 500 feet, which that distance is the closest point of any adjacent building. The closest rooms at Ignite are 600 feet away, and the closest lot at Sawgrass is 700 feet away, with projected sound levels of 68.5 and 67.2 decibels respectively. To put those decibel levels into context, a range of 60 to 7 is equivalent to the sound level of a normal outdoor conversation or a suburban commercial area. The design, placement, and operation of the bell tower poses no harm to the general welfare of the city of Crown Point or the public health, safety, or morals of the community. The location of the bell tower is 74 feet from West Burrell Drive's property line and 187 feet from the Main Street property line, and it is aligned with the center of the church doors. The south facade of the actual church building is approximately 51 feet in height, with other neighboring non-residential building structures ranging in height from 35 to over 50 feet in height. Installation of the bell tower does not alter the use or purpose of the property, but instead enhances that by providing a visual landmark for those on or approaching West Burrell Drive, distinguishing St. Matthias Church as a central place of worship. As such, there is no decline in use or value of the adjacent area. The installation of this bell tower is a culmination of years of planning and the contributions from numerous parishioners, community businesses, and organizations, fulfilling a need for St. Matthias to provide a complete liturgical experience to all who walk through its doors in an outward proclamation of the gospel to the greater community. Woven deeply into the fabric of the Catholic Church, the sound of the bells is an evangelizing force, and this tower will give St. Matthias Church its voice by cutting through the daily life to remind people of God's presence and to provide auditory communication to those in the community with its calling of faithful for the Mass, its daily reminder to pray the Angelus, the joyful ring to celebrate a wedding, the funeral toll of remembrance, and as a means to announce other significant moments in the life of the church. The Catholic Church is fundamentally charged with the mission of evangelization. For Catholics, prayer and liturgy are essential and central to one's daily life. This bell tower will deepen the relationship that the faithful have with God and enable St. Matthias Church to expand its mission of spreading the gospel message using both a physical presence as a visible landmark, but also as a symbolic voice, reaching people from various backgrounds within earshot who might not otherwise encounter the church to consider their own personal call to faith. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. Mr. Watson, staff report.
Yes, sir. Petitioner is requesting a variance from development standards to allow an accessory structure to exceed 16 feet in height as allowed by city ordinance. The request is for a bell tower to be allowed at St. Matthias, located at 101 West Burrell Drive. Approve, the petitioner is looking to install a 50-foot tall bell tower on the church's property. As a reminder, for the record, there are sound ordinances and regulations that dictate volume and timeframes that would have to be followed. All notices have been properly sent out by certified mail, and the notice has been published in the newspaper. We have received no calls of remonstration. We have now received support, though, and the planning department recommends approval of petition 2542.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Taylor, questions?
I don't have anything really. I support the project. Will you guys, there's a mound where you guys, like a higher mound, are you guys gonna bring that mound down?
Yeah,
or
our
will
intention
we-
is to
Yeah.
clear that mound and redo that whole landscape area as part of this project.
Yeah, that was all I really have.
Mr. Marshall?
I don't know, a bell tower kind of has to be 50-foot tall. It's only 16-foot tall. It's more of a dinner bell than it is a bell tower. So say that I don't have any problem with this petition. I think it's appropriate, and St. Matthias is certainly a good. I've been to several events at your church, so I appreciate it. So that's all I would say.
I would agree to aesthetically, it would look very nice. It would suit the purposes that you've already mentioned, and I would support the project as well. Mr. Rohaley?
Well, as you know, we're in development areas, we need to come up with some practical difficulty. And I did. During the mass at the consecration, the bells are normally rung. Will you be doing that with the bell tower this time?
We would have the ability to do that. Our
Okay.
intent was to call people into mass at the beginning of mass.
So that's the functional part of this for a practical difficulty. And then if you, like John says, if it's only 16 feet tall, it's not gonna work very well. You have to get it above, and your materials were very good. Your findings of fact were excellent. Save you a lot of research time. If you get them up higher, they go farther out into the community, though. If you're only 16 feet, you're gonna bounce off a building or, whatever atmospheric conditions there are, it's gonna dampen the sound of the bells, which, that's a practical difficulty insofar as I see this. So I think we're okay. I think we're good for proving practical difficulty. And we just want to be sure that the petition has everything that these folks have put together for their findings of fact attached in there, in that petition. Thank you.
Mr. Sarman?
Well, I support the project. I think it'd be a very nice addition to the church and to the community at large. So I have no comments other than that.
This is a public meeting. If there's anyone here that would like to speak to this petition, it'd be an opportunity to come forward. Or if there's anyone online, first opportunity. Second opportunity. Third and final. Hearing none, we'll close the public portion out. Bring it back to the board.
Mr. Chairman, as a good Catholic young man with many years of Catholic grade school and high school, I would motion to approve petition 25-42.
Have a motion by Mr. Rohaley for approval,
No second.
second by Mr. Marshall. Any further discussions? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, if you'll call the roll.
Dan Rohaley,
Yes.
Jeremy Taylor,
Yes.
John Marshall,
Yes.
Dick Sauerman,
Yes.
Nick Nosovich.
Yes. You are approved. You can move forward.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Nice job, John.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, petition 25-43, William Bree petitioner, GRP Enterprises LLC owner, requested a variance from development standards. Purpose is to allow reduction of required parking. Location is 8741 Madison Street. Also petition 25-44, William Bree petitioner / GRP Enterprise LLC owner, requested a special use, and that is for allowing a fitness facility in an I-1 industrial zone. Location again, 8741 Madison Street. Sir, if you'll state your name and address for the record, and feel free to tell us what you'd like to do.
Yes, my name is William Vree, and my home address is 18020 State Line in Lansing, Illinois. And just as a correction, you said 8741, I believe it's just 874 Madison Street. And that's what was
Was
on
that on the
petition, so I don't know if that's just a,
on the paper, but
I believe it's 874.
Yeah, 874. Oh, yeah, I apologize. I didn't see that on the agenda. Yes, everything was advertised for 874.
Okay, I made a mistake on the first two. I said 5 and it's 6, so you got this these two in here. Got it.
okay. Thank you for gentlemen. I'm coming before you to ask for 2 variances. One for the allow use of as a fitness facility, and another as a parking variance. I first want to apologize. I first approached Josh some time ago, submitted an application and failed to follow up. And that's why this is coming in late. In all honesty, early this year, I was concerned about the viability of this as a business, but as it turns out, I do believe it's a very viable business. And so the business is, or the building is a 6-unit warehouse building. 874 is the 3rd unit. It's on Madison Street, just off of Summit. So it's a light warehouse building. The unit in question here is a 40 by 55 foot warehouse unit that we would like to use as a fitness facility. The business it's semi-private personal training. So it's not something that the public would be coming to on their own time. Anybody who would come to this facility would be by appointment only. There's one staff member, it's my son, and he's a licensed personal trainer, and he wanted to have his own facility to train people in. So we rented this unit. Yeah, like I said, it's a semi-private personal training, which means maximum number of people that would be there at one point would be 4 to 5 people. And that's a maximum. That might happen once to twice a week for a 1-hour session. Over the past 3 months, the average number of people in a session has been less than 2. So it's either one-on-one, one-on-2 training. So it's very low impact on the area and the need for parking. Yes, so it is a fitness facility. It's kind of an extended personal training, just to have a private facility instead of a shared facility. Some personal trainers will just say, meet me at the YMCA or something like that. My son, he wanted to have especially if he's doing a couple people at a time, wanted to have a private space. So that's what this unit is for. Yeah, like I said, it's currently, the owner designated 6 parking spots, which I believe is more than enough for this facility. Like I said, it's average 1 to 2 people at a time. Occasionally you might get 3 to 4. The business is, he trains adults in the morning. In the afternoons and evenings, he will train high school athletes and youth, but all in a very small group setting. So his specialty was training athletes. So yeah, and even so, when he's doing athletes and youth, more often than not, they're being dropped off. They're not using the parking spaces. So I believe the 6 parking spaces is more than adequate. Currently the building, like I said, it's 6 units. We are the 3rd unit in. So the 3rd unit off of Madison Street. And The first 2 units are currently leased. And so we're the third unit and the last 3 are currently vacant. Yeah, I don't know if you have any other questions. Like I said, it's a very low impact fitness facility. It's not some people can come to on their own, whenever they want. So you can have very crowded times. It's very controlled because they have to come in by appointment.
Okay, we'll have some questions possibly, but Mr. Watson, staff report,
Yes,
please.
sir. Petitioner is requesting a special use to allow a 2,200 square foot fitness facility in an I-1 industrial zone. Property is located at 874 North Madison Street in the Mardar Industrial Park, directly to the south of East Summit Street. Parcel is bordered by B3 Business to the east and I-1 Industrial to the north, south, and west. If approved, the petitioner will operate a strength training facility. Petitioner was formed in October of 2024 that a special use process would be required to open this type of business in this zoning type. The petitioner applied for the special use a year later. While verifying information for the petition, staff discovered the petitioner had opened the business at some point in that time frame and has been knowingly operating without city approval. The legal signage is on the building and internal work was done without any permits being pulled. Petitioner is also requesting a variance from development standards for a reduction in parking. Property owner is willing to dedicate 6 parking stalls to this business, with the business next door having 12 stalls dedicated to them. They're still being open units for rent. It means that the remaining 2 to 3 units will only have a remaining 5 spaces to share among them. All notices have been properly sent out by certified mail, and a notice has been published in newspaper. We have received no calls of remonstration or support. But with the owner knowingly operating without proper approvals, illegal signage, work done without permits, and there not being enough parking for the multi-use building as a whole, the planning department cannot recommend approval of petitions 2543 and 2544.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Sauerman, we'll start with you. Any questions to the petitioner?
Well, I have a comment first, and that is, we seem to be seeing a lot of this. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than to get permission stuff coming to us. And this seems to be a perfect example of that. I don't know what the true purpose was behind this, and I'm not going to try to get to it, but the comment was made that it appears that you wanted to see if it was a viable business before, and this is my interpretation of what you said, before you wanted to take the time to seek a variance here. I just don't like the whole smell of this, to be honest with you. Apart from that, I mean, the business is fine. We've had businesses similar to this in industrial zones. I don't have an issue with that. I have a character and integrity problem with this whole thing. Apart from all the special use issues here that we need to be discussing, including parking. I'll let you respond to that first before I go on.
Yeah, I would like to respond to that. Like I said, I apologize. It was never my intention not to do it the proper way. My intention was to do it the proper way. I first contacted the zoning department very early on in the process. I submitted the application back in January, I believe, but I did not follow through. It was not.
I did not have a submittal from you in January. My only emails from you were October 31st, where I had sent you the application, and then let's see, I received an application from you October 20th of this year.
Okay. I thought I had an email where I had sent it in initially, but I needed the proper notarization, and it was at that point, my apologies, I did not follow through, and that's on me. But I did contact him very, very early in the process. So it was not my intention not, to go around or trying to do something in secret. That was never my intention. I did contact him very early on, but it was my fault I did not follow through. And like I said, it was, at that point, the business was just getting underway. I was kind of wondering, okay, do we even have a viable business here? And so that's where I dropped the ball, and I do apologize. But it was never my intention not to do it the proper way. It was just neglect on my part. I was not trying to avoid anything. Like I said, it was just neglect.
All right. So Josh, I have a question for you then regarding this whole parking issue of these 4 units, one of which is there. So the business next door has 12 dedicated to them right now. And if I do the math based on what you've written here and listening to what you stated in your comments, that he wants 6, 12 next door is 18, and there's 5 additional, so there's 23 parking spaces in all for those 4 units, is that correct?
That is correct.
And how do we generally go about divvying out parking spaces when you have units this close to each other?
Well, I contacted the owner of and so he's the one, I believe, who designated the 14 to the business up front. Explain what I need, and he took the units in front, the parking spots in front of our building, of our unit, and he said, I have 6 spots for you. And so he attested to the fact that he would designate 6 spots to me.
And Mr. Sauer, to answer your question, shopping centers or any multiple use building, it's 1 space per 75 square feet of sales or office floor area with a minimum of 5 spaces per unit. And that is where one of the issues we're hitting right now with this variance from development standards is by allowing the 12 to go to Vertica Fitness and 6 to go to this business with a remaining of 5. Well, what they actually need is a remainder of 15. So right now there's not enough. And I am going through my email, and yes, January 24th, I have an incomplete application
Yes.
without the signature of the property owner. That's why it couldn't be accepted back.
Correct. Yeah. So that's when I originally applied, was back in January, and then, but he indicated to me it was incomplete, and that's where I failed to follow up, for which I apologize. But it was never my intention not to get the proper zoning.
So Josh, a further question then, pardon me for my ignorance here, but this GRP Enterprises next door at 870 has 12 dedicated parking spaces for 23 available for 4 units. So if I subtract away 12 from 23, I have 11 remainder. Divided by 3, that's tight. I mean, that's less than 5 per. So here's my real question. How did this guy next door get 12 parking spaces dedicated to what he's doing?
This process, they went through a variance from development standards process in the board.
Okay, so we approved that. That's what you're saying. I
And
didn't recall that.
That is a fitness center, but it's a very different business model. It's not a personal training. It's one that would have larger groups coming in.
I don't remember.
Hold it.
All right, going back to your business then real quickly. You said that 1 to 2 people would be using your services on average, maybe 3 to 4 occasionally. So does that equate to 3 to 4 cars maximum?
I would say so, yes.
All right, so why
like I
6
said,
so why
if it's
6 spaces
both-
then?
Pardon?
So why 6 spaces then?
I'm just, I contacted the owner, and I just said, how many can you designate to our unit? And he told me he would designate 6 spaces.
Mr. Sauer, I believe what the intention was when he reached out to the owner was knowing he needed 13 by ordinance. He was just trying to see how many he could possibly get. So he was asking for less of a reduction, if that makes sense.
Okay, all right.
I guess I was
And-
trying to be safe.
I have no other questions. Thank you.
Mr. O'Hagan.
Well, here we are. Has the fire department gone through here?
No, they have not.
Have you gotten a state release of all your construction plans and improvements you've done inside?
I have not, what we did, the building is pretty rudimentary and temporary. We didn't do any like major construction in there.
Haven't done any yet in there?
We put up some wall partitions to have like a little office area. I mean, the building itself was an empty warehouse with a bathroom. And we put some plywood construction, just to have a little office area and a little closet. But that's it, that's all we did. And he did refer to signage. That's also very temporary.
Did you get a sign permit?
We did not, and that was out of ignorance.
So you've had no inspections of the city on what you've done inside there as well?
No, we have not.
So how do we approach this? How do we approve this? You know? They're already in there, unless we make it subject to.
It would have to be, I mean, Joe, I would defer that to you, but my understanding is it would have to be subject to.
It would have to be. I don't know any other way around. With
Yeah,
some kind of
I'd be willing to, you know, do
some kind of
subject-
review
subject
here.
to whatever you decide, because like I said, it was partly out of ignorance and neglect on my part.
And even regarding a lot of Mr. Sauerman's questions about the parking, even if it's approved, that means it's on the property owner to explain to future tenants why they don't have enough parking. Or it's just going to have to be a small use where they basically get 2 spots each.
But we don't get to determine that if they come in here, they come in without any variance, correct?
This is how we get ourselves a pickle. Everything's like free for all parking everywhere. And then on the north building there, I noticed there was some blockage there for their parking there. There's some scullage over
I'm sorry, what?
on the north building, north of you.
Okay,
On the east side, they blocked off the side parking. Apparently parking in your building or that building was going to the side of the building, so they had to take steps to.
so the building to the north of our building? Yeah, I guess I'm not aware of that, or the people who come to our facility, you know, for our facility, they're instructed where to park. I mean,
So you have how many trainers then?
One.
In any, you have one trainer. So you have one employee, is that correct?
correct.
And then how many sessions do you do?
He will do up to 6 or 7 throughout the day.
Okay.
So they're very spread out.
I think I have to go Mr. Sauerman's sentiments as well. And we don't open a business on a trial run, see if it's gonna work.
I understand that.
Then move away. The pole dancing people, that Vertigo, they took 12, so that really puts a dent in their parking for that building.
The vertical fitness facility?
Yeah.
Yes.
I call them pole dance.
They're not though, that's definitely zoned something different. It's just for the record, we don't have any pole dancing facilities in the city.
That's what they do. That's their training. On a pole. They said they had a pole.
They do have poles, yes, but I still believe there is a difference.
So, and it's only an hour session each time.
Yes.
There's only 23 spots for the total building.
I believe so, yes.
Half of it almost we've given away to vertical people. So
When did you start classes?
First classes probably started in January. But those classes were, like I said, they were basically personal training.
I understand,
but yes.
and I got a grasp of all that.
Yes,
The problem again is, here we are in November.
correct.
Now, if it was October and November, there's a short period of time.
I
You're talking about January, it's a whole year almost of operating without the proper items taken care of. The other concern I have is what's kind of been sedimented already in the parking. We don't have that much control there, and my fear is these people have allocated 12, you've got 6, there's 2 more spots, and we can tell, or you can tell the owner that you only have 5 more to divvy up amongst the other 2.
Mhm.
But a day comes and all 4 of those units are booked, and people just start coming in and grabbing spots. Who's going to be the judge and jury of who's overtaking whose spots and stuff? It's easy to say, you got 6, they got 12, and you 2, if you come here, you get 2.5.
Right,
But then all of a sudden, the 4 of you expand in traffic. And now we're got a problem amongst 4 units debating who's got the right to park or doesn't.
the owner, I mean, he did designate 6 units pretty much in front of our building.
I understand that.
And of our unit, but as far as expansion, we would not, we cannot expand this business with our business model.
And I don't
Yeah.
foresee that, but I
Yeah, you
foresee
cannot expand
12
this
and
business
6 being a
other than
problem
expanding into
for
another,
the other 2.
getting another unit.
So my question is, does this owner of that building know that if he rents those out, there's only 5 spots left? And it's on him? I mean, how do we answer that question? Is where I'm having a struggle. I mean, it's not on you,
I
it's
understand.
not on the other guy. But then we only have 23 and more than half of those are already gone. And 2 spots are left, and I'm sure that man bought that building to fill it with tenants. At some point in time,
Mhm.
is he just gonna say, sure, go ahead and have at it, and you guys, rock and roll in the parking lot, or who's gonna get a spot or not? And then now the city's gotta try to figure out how to manage or police that, which is not necessarily our responsibility.
We have no zoning.
Police aren't even gonna, they're not even, it's
I'm not
private.
gonna say it's a
Private
private
property, they're not gonna do anything either.
So the struggle is, and I understand.
Yeah.
You neglected to do what needed to be done.
Correct.
So that we can interject here and
Mhm.
find the right way. Your business is not the problem. And we would wholeheartedly accept this under the right conditions.
Okay,
The problem now is where you're at and what's happened. And all this time that's gone by. And you're running a business. Unfortunately, I'm gonna repeat the words, on a trial basis. See if I like it, if it's gonna be feasible. And now. Take my apology and
mhm.
wave the magic wand. Understand that everything that we do here is a reflection on everybody that comes in. So we wave a magic wand for one person, the next one's gonna come in and say, well, why don't you wave it for me? And so on and so forth down the line. So it truly isn't because we don't want this or can't have this. But what's all happened is making it very difficult to move forward in a positive direction. That's my 2 cents, sorry. Mr. Marshall,
What brought you in now? Been in business for a year, so what made you come?
Well, I mean, like I stated
Did the
earlier,
city get on you? or-
no,
I mean, what?
I realized I did not follow through at the beginning and I wanted to do the right thing.
So I'm just, this is hypothetical.
Nobody came into the business saying, what are you doing here?
Did you know what was going on?
No,
Okay, so if you didn't know it and he didn't come in, this could have operated for the next 10 years, nobody would even know it. That is,
until someone thought, yeah, potentially.
okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering what
Yeah,
brought you in.
Yeah, we
You
probably
gotta give
wouldn't
them
have
a couple-
known.
You gotta give them some merit points for at least
Yeah.
coming.
I would like, I guess I would say that I would like to do things the right way. I'd like to be a good neighbor. As far as the parking, how it gets divvied up. You know, my son, who's there all the time, he tells people where to park. If he thinks somebody's parked in one of the neighbors, he will tell them to move their car and put it here. So yeah, you're right, you have no control over that. But we are very aware of, you know, what parking we have, and we're trying to be a good neighbor to all those around us as well. Yes, you're right. And like I said, I didn't wait to come in till now. I came in early, but I neglected to follow up. My intention from the very beginning was to do it the right way. And I contacted Josh in zoning, but then I neglected to follow up, so.
I got some some follow-up questions for Josh. When did this building get approved? I mean, I don't believe I've ever seen this building. I've been here for a while.
You know, the Mardar subdivision
And
back
when was
there,
the site, when was the site plan approved, do you know?
not offhand.
Because how did Plan Commission or the BZA approve a 6-unit building with 23 parking spots?
Well, that's one of the other, oh,
I'm just asking what year we did that.
that I don't know. I'd have to do some research into that, figure that out. The other issue that we do run into fairly often is the Plan Commission will approve a building with, let's say, 3 units. And then years later on down the road, they'll put up a wall on the inside and they'll split the units. Well, then suddenly now we've got 4 and 5 units in a building that was approved. And unfortunately, it doesn't trigger anything regarding site development, so it doesn't have to come back in front of the Plan Commission.
I was just wondering when we did this. When did the city allow us to have it?
I don't know offhand. It would have been over the last 20-ish years.
And I remember the pole dancers coming in for their variance, but we didn't set parking on that, did we?
So part of their approval for their special use was they didn't get a parking reduction, they got assigned parking. And that's what the board accepted was, so they had the required amount of 12 spaces for the space they had. So when they came in with the dedicated amount, the BZA and city council accepted the special use with the dedicated parking. So they didn't need a variance from development standards for a
They would
reduction.
just need a variance to put a health.
Fitness facility and an I-1 industrial.
Okay. So we didn't have nothing to do with the 12 spots. That was
That was an agreement between the business owner and the property owner.
and we allowed it because that's what they needed, just 12 spots.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if they got 12 and he gets 6, then we got 5 left. If they put a business that's allowed in that building, industrial building, we'll never visit the parking issue again. Is that correct?
Theoretically, yeah.
I mean, if they put a machine shop in there, they did,
Correct.
they had 4 employees, we're never gonna visit this. This doesn't ever come back to the Plan Commission or BZA. The only reason that he's here is because he's trying to put a business in there that's not allowed in an I-1 district.
It's not allowed in I-1 district.
And the pole dancers were in the same position.
Correct.
They were putting a business in an I-1 district that wasn't allowed.
Yes.
It's all use driven, you know, I mean, even at the beginning when they approved it, you know, there might have been 1 user in that whole building. And then there
It
were
was
20,
built as
and then there were 23 employees that worked in there, and that was it.
well, they built,
So you never know. you
I mean, it
know.
was built as 6 units, but
it was built as 6. I was gonna say, it's built as 6.
Do we know that?
Yes, I know that building very well. It's built as 6
6 units, oh.
But, all right. How much interior stuff have you done? A lot?
no.
Because.
And like I said-
I know you gotta get an architect to draw you drawings, send them downstate, the fire department gets involved, it comes back. I mean, it's a costly thing. It's probably gonna cost you, $3,000 to $5,000 just to get approved to put up your They're gonna make you build the walls in a certain way, they're gonna have to be anchored a certain way, they gotta be fire resistant or, you know, whatever the fire department requires, so. I mean, that, in my opinion, if we even think about approving this, all that stuff's gotta come down. Cause you gotta, I mean, if you wanna do it right, like you're claiming, you're way ahead of the ball.
I'm willing to do
I'm just.
whatever is necessary.
Well, it's a problem that you've been in business for so long. I have to tell you.
Yeah, like I say earlier,
And then you got a lot of stuff wrong. You don't have no parking, you don't have no permits, you don't have your state police or state fire marshal release. You haven't had the fire department there. We don't know if you got a lighted exit sign or if you got fire extinguishers or, you know, you got two ways out of the building. We don't know anything about your business. I mean, it could be a tragedy tomorrow. And, you know, I mean, you know, and if it did happen tomorrow, God forbid, the city would get the blame because we didn't do our job.
If we were to get it, you know, do the approval. You cannot continue on having classes and stuff in there. Now, us knowing that, correct? Is that Mr. Eric?
That would be correct.
We have to, you know, he's got to get this right with all the entities for the approvals for the interior build out.
That's correct.
So technically you're out of business until you get all those things.
That's, the interior build out is a costly and
Yeah.
lengthy process. I intimately know that, trust me. All right, I don't have any other questions. I just wonder how the hell the city approved a 6-unit building on 23 parking spots. That's, you know. 'Cause I don't
It's not the
remember.
only one.
Well, I know that's not the only one, but this is the one that, I mean, I've been here for 20 years, and so it's gotta be over 20 years old. I really don't, you know, if you could look that up, just
I can
call
look
it
that
that, that would be great. Cause
Yeah.
I just wondered, you know, if this ain't the only one, I mean, how's the city handle this? I mean, how are we supposed to handle this?
That is a question I've been asking for 3 years. I've gone so far as to work with the building department when internal build outs are being done. I still try to verify the use. We get the fire department involved. I mean, steps have been put in place to try to verify things ahead of time. I actually just met with my bosses earlier today to let them know that on my end, I'm ready to move forward with the business registration. That would also help. So at least.
So that you know up front what it's gonna be and what's necessary.
We used to have that. I registered my business one time, a long time ago. They had it.
I know
There's still a business registration, isn't there?
I had it put back on the books about a year and a half ago.
I've been on there.
No, but
I'm pretty sure it was.
I've registered before, because the fire department come down and
We had
inspected
to
my
make,
place.
we had to make adjustments to it and clean it up and give the city more authority. So about a year and a half ago, it got amended.
I know it was a part before that because I walked into a business to see if they had their license on the wall.
I know that I registered and had a license at one time, but it's been 10 or 15 years ago that it was.
And this was probably,
And there was a fee, of course. Yeah, always a fee. All right, well, I'm just trying to figure out, I mean, this, and this doesn't have anything to do with you. This is just, I'm sitting there going 6 units on 23 spots. I'm like, who the hell? I mean, I believe in a reduction of parking for businesses. I believe that sometimes the ordinances make big asphalt Cs, which can be reduced.
Mhm.
But in this case, no, I don't think this was appropriate. That's all I have to say.
We have findings of fact we got one for the use, do we have one for the development standards?
I didn't see that in there. I was gonna ask that. Let me give
This one's stated signed.
Mr. Taylor a chance to ask any questions.
One second.
Mr. Taylor?
yeah, so from my perspective, I guess first of all, like, we want your business in Crown Point, in my opinion. we want to try to keep you in Crown Point if that's possible. But we're clearly fighting an uphill battle now
Mhm.
to keep you here, right? To keep you in this building if it's even possible. So with that, it's my first statement. Second statement is like parking. So just like my colleagues, parking is gonna be an issue. Trying to look at some positives as a question, the doors, the large doors, the spaces in front of those, are those considered parking?
For this, yes, for this business,
They're
we
already
can,
considered parking.
yes. There's actually
So-
parking blocks in front of the door.
There's
on our
actually
unit.
parking blocks already, and those are part of your 5.
Yes,
Okay, so that's not a solution.
That doesn't, that's not.
Is it not even?
I don't think those, I don't know if they're considered part of the
You can park it
23.
for that, but you can't make.
Well, especially for these businesses, like next door and this, you'll never need access, right?
Right, because we,
So
Yeah, you
I thought
couldn't-
maybe for those.
never, you
two,
could never bring a building in to our unit.
but
in our
we're
current
already
use.
trying, so there's, I don't know how to fix that. How about on the rear of the building, looks like it's a storage area. From pictures, and it's something I didn't check out when I drove by there. But is that storage area, it's being used as storage? I know that those tenants in that rear of that building have moved out recently. Is that storage area still being used as storage? Are those parking spaces being used? Are they considered parking spaces? You know, is that an option? No,
That Conex box, I just moved it.
so it's still, it's gone.
gone. It's gone.
So that's-
But there's no
so that-
park, there's no park.
There's no room to create a parking spot there.
And then this turns, it's very, the way the driveway's made, it makes a very hard left turn and comes around the creek there, so.
Just trying to look for some benefits, right?
No, there's
No,
no,
we're not finding any yet.
no, I was the one that put that Conex box in there like 15 or 20 years ago. And then the guy that bought the building wanted to get rid of it. There was a tenant in the end of this building that did dentless paint repair. As of last month, he was in. That was who I talked to when I went and moved it box on Sunday. And the reason I had to move it on a Sunday was because the parking lot was so jammed up that I couldn't get in there during the week. So, I'll be honest with you. I'm not.
Well, we're closed on Sundays, so.
So,
Alright. So in my opinion, the only way that I would even consider a favorable recommendation for this or, well, first of all, let's talk about the development standards. The only way I'd make an approval vote for that would be to have all of our ducks in a row as far as the city's concerned, as far as your inspection, as far as your business license now, as far as your all of that had to be in line. So tonight, I'm not in favor of that personally. It would have to be a deferral and happen in the future. Now, what is the timeline for the city to get inspectors in there, look at it? I mean, the state fire, I mean, that's a several month process, I believe.
Yeah, at least.
So, I mean,
For
is
the
that
state
something,
release it.
is that something you want to do? Cause I kind of got a feeling, just my opinion, I'm not in favor of this without that at least. The special use, I don't have a problem with a fitness facility in an I-1 area, but every single petition has its own merits and its own problems and its own positives that are mitigated, right? And we haven't mitigated any of them yet for this. The parking, I guess, I mean, we're mitigating on your petition, but we're creating future issues
Mhm.
is the way I look at it. And when we look at our finding of facts, are we, creating, I forget the exact words, but a negative impact on, the area, the surrounding area. I'm not even worried about the precedent. I'm worried about this petition creating a negative impact on the surrounding area. And I think that dedicating that many parking spots that have already been taken in that area, we're going to create a negative
Well, it's the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance would be affected in a substantially adverse.
That's
manner.
where I'm
And
struggling with it. So with that being said, in my opinion, tonight I'm not in favor, but can we get this done 30, 60, 90 days from now? I'm not saying we can't, but tonight, in my opinion, I would not be in favor of moving forward with this.
I don't believe we even can. If legal wants to chime in, I mean, we just found out that we have a business that's been working for almost a year, that's not approved in any shape, way, or form, and has a bunch of things that have to be done to get to that point. And today, if we were to approve this as a special use request to the city council, on what? On something that hasn't existed legally for almost a year? I mean, what was said earlier is basically what's happened is today you need to close your business because it's not in compliance with all the rules and regs. And we're here, you're asking for us to say, on my ignorance or my mistake, approve me. And again, that's just going to go down the street and tell others, well, give it a shot, see what happens. And then if everything works out, come and ask for forgiveness or approval. And again, had you done everything like you should have, this is a walk in the cake. Has nothing to do with type of business, but we've got a bigger problem than the parking, in my opinion, that we have a business that's working that's not supposed to be working. Unfortunately.
And on the use, you have two challenges. You know, the number one thing on both of them is the use or the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. You can't even get past that at this point. And that's on both petitions. And the second one, as Jeremy mentioned, you know, about the reduction in effect it would have on adjacent property.
I like, from a legal standpoint, I like Jeremy's recommendation, but I think we need to, first of all, business needs to be closed. Second of all, we would need to see some type of letter of commitment, marked parking spaces. If you've got 6 marked, see if that's feasible. Fire department to check it out, state applications to be made for a public facility.
I think just you as trying to get this place back open as fast as possible with the approval process. I mean, I almost, and I don't want to recommend anything, but I would almost have to believe that any interior work that has been done would have to be completely removed. You would have to have the original shell building, which may or may not be feasible to operate as a fitness center, right? Later, because you may get a fire department approval without any office build out, without any closet, with just a open facility, you know, that may be, and then submit your plans after for those changes and go through that process the right way before you actually have an office. So I don't know if that's doable in 30 days or 60 days, but in my opinion, I would at least, I guess I'll make a motion to defer petition 2543 and 2544 for 30 days. Or one site, is there a meeting in December? I guess that's the next question.
Yes,
Yes.
I mean, if you're deferring
I don't think he's
this,
gonna get it done in 30 days.
No, but you know what, Dan, I think that's a good idea, because he can come back, there's no promises anything's gonna get done in 30 days, but at least we could see fire's been in there.
Well, what I was gonna suggest was to table this, not defer it. And then if he looks like he's going to get all of his approvals, he can pull it back off the table and we can act on it. Then it's not a next meeting type.
and that might even be safer, because I believe you can only have 3 deferrals, and then it's a year that it can't be heard again. So if it's tabled, that
That won't
actually gives the
affect him then.
petitioner.
It's tabled indefinitely until he can figure out, you know, how long is this gonna take? You're never gonna get a state release back in 30 days. This guy's been
So
60,
if you-
90 days.
Just for your knowledge, if you get a negative recommendation and then a no vote, you cannot reapply for this same variance for 1 year. So this is, as, we would like a business like yours to be here the right way, but, this is our gesture of trying to keep you, if that makes sense.
Okay, so if it's, I guess my concern is going forward, if the motion gets tabled. I mean, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, but if it's something that's gonna drag on for months, and we can't operate, and we can't train athletes in this warehouse.
Unfortunately, I
What-
don't
what
believe
does that-
that's not our issue at this point.
Or just, one deferral or two deferrals or whatever, right?
Well, there, from a legal standpoint, no way we can, sir, we can't approve you for an illegal business.
I understand that.
I mean, somebody gets
I
hurt in
think- I
there,
think
you
it
know
just
where that
goes,
comes, that falls back on this board.
Yeah,
I mean, you can in essence take the next 30 days and put some due diligence in to figure out what needs to be done. And we have another meeting next month. You can come back in here and say, it's just not gonna work. I can't wait that long, or I can't go through all these processes, and then we're done. But I mean, there's no way today we can say yes to this.
right.
And tabling it would buy you extended time if you wanna, like you said, I'll do whatever I need to do.
Right.
But if you need to think about this, you've got a chance for 30 days to mull over and come back and say, here's what I'm going to do. But number one is, the classes have to stop,
Okay, yeah.
for
That's-
sure.
That, I guess that's my concern. I understand that you can't approve this tonight. I totally understand that.
I think Mr. Taylor gave you the best advice.
That is the opportunity to get out of this. Otherwise, like he said, we vote on this and we're gonna deny it.
Right.
You can't
No,
apply for
yeah.
over years.
I understand that. My concern is if there's no way to keep the business open in the next 30 days, just training minimal athletes or minimal people.
But they only get one deferral
Because that's,
petition.
I mean, that's frankly, that's gonna be a hardship. That's basically, and then affecting a,
That's the way you put it. Wow.
Well,
Put us
we
out of
haven't
business
taken
for-
any- if we table it, we haven't taken any action. So
No.
officially, we're splitting straws and we can't really put them out of business yet.
No.
I was gonna say, it's a very minimal impact, and I want to stay here. I want to stay in Crown Point. I want to stay in this unit.
Well, I would take Mr. Taylor's advice.
If this
Very-
unit isn't feasible, I'll look elsewhere in Crown Point.
Take the office down, get the fire department in there to approve the fire safety, make sure you got all your signs and fire. And then bring it back next month as an empty building that wants to be a fitness center. You still have 6 spots.
So-
I mean, it's not your fault.
But I had- so,
that a
yeah.
guy owns a building that don't have any parking spots. It's not your fault.
Right.
So, I mean, when he tries to rent the other units, it's gonna be a problem for him. If,
Right.
if any special uses come in, but he told you how to open it right here. He
Do
told
we
you-
have anything from the other fitness facility, I'm gonna call it, so we
We
don't
do.
call it like everybody else, showing that they have 12 parking
Yes.
spots?
Yes, we do have.
So then I would recommend also that we get something in writing.
We have one for, it's in your packet, his 6 spots.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
So
That
he-
way-
He does have that. He did
That
get
will,
those
that will
spots
answer
dedicated.
the problem that we may have with that gentleman that wants to fill other spots someday, that you authorize that, not us.
And if anything, that might just mean the property owner may just have to come in for a variance for the entire site for a reduction of parking. Wouldn't hurt.
So I'll remove my motion for deferral on both petitions here,
Okay,
and I'll change my motion to table both 2520 or petition 2543 and petition 2544.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Taylor for tabling 2543 and 2544, seconded by Mr. Rohaley. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Secretary, if you'll call the roll.
Dan Rohaven.
Yes.
Jeremy Taylor.
Yes.
John Marshall.
Yes.
Dick Sauerman.
Yes.
Nick Nosovich.
Yes. So for the time being, it's tabled.
Okay,
I would suggest again, start moving forward with your processes, and
I will immediately.
once you get a clear picture, if that's the route you're gonna take,
I'm not trying to take up your time, but, you know, he'll help you.
I know, I will,
He'll help you.
I will work through Josh.
He's not gonna- he's not gonna
Since
do
he
it
brought
for
it
you,
up
but
in
he's
the
gonna help
minutes,
you.
I was just gonna wait till afterwards, to let you just get with me. I know we're out of the office end of this week for the holiday, but I can help you coordinate with those other
Yeah,
departments.
he's been extremely helpful through the process, so.
I still think you can do it. You know, like I said, there's some problems in the building that don't have anything to do with you. You're just kind of a victim.
Thank you, gentlemen.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Down to miscellaneous, we have approval of the 2026 meetings. Is that
Yes, the only thing I really want to bring your attention to, all the meetings are staying in the fourth Monday of the month. The only one I changed was December of 2026. I moved to the third Monday of the month because otherwise it would have fallen right between Christmas and New Year. Safe to assume it would be difficult to get a quorum. People would be away from holiday and just didn't want to do that. So that's the only one that shifted somewhat drastically. Otherwise, May 26th is on Tuesday in observance of Memorial Day. Otherwise, everything's status quo.
When's our December meeting, this in 25?
It is the 22nd of December.
Is that the regular
Correct.
4th?
Make a motion to approve the scheduled meeting minutes or meeting dates and times for 2026.
Have a motion by Mr. Taylor. I'll second that. Any further discussion? Everybody aye? Anybody opposed? Got that done. Anything else in the miscellaneous, gentlemen?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, so second, I assume, all of us.
Nick, there's a jump.
I have a question. We received a mail, special mail last week. Something at the location 2021 West 133rd.
Oh, that's the
that-
next meeting.
That's the next meeting.
Next meeting
Next meeting,
in 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're early, that's all.
So motion, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
We are done.